Yeah, guys, I hope you guys like the new setup. I'm trying it out today. I haven't had an event in like 4 months, so I'm a little bit nervous, but this is my new booth. I think it looks pretty cool, and we're about an hour away from, or no, 2 hours away from showtime. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a 3-day event, my first 3-day, and I've been here in 2024. So I know how packed it could get. So I'm hoping it goes good. But yeah, I'll try to get footage for y'all. But I'm gonna be here pretty much on my own. I do have a table partner, but we're splitting it, so I might not be able to like go out as much. But yeah, I'll still try to get footage for y'all. And yeah, so we're about 2 hours away, and we'll just get started. All right, we're back for day two. Honestly, day one was a little slow for me personally. I don't know about other vendors, but I know me, it just wasn't like going as much. I'm hoping to get double my table booth, but obviously we'll see how that goes. That's just gonna be my bare minimum for now. It's just hopefully I could get double table booth at every event. Today's Saturday. We got about 30 minutes before they open up, so we'll see how everything goes. I'm excited. This is my first 3-day event, so I never know really how these things go. But yeah, I gotta go drop off some stuff real quick to my other stamp rally guys. But yeah, I guess we'll see how day two goes out. So yeah. Also, a lot of people were getting lost, so we went out and printed out these maps for everyone. It's like all updated with all the numbers, and as you can see, it jumps from like 72 to 90 to 121. It's like all over the place. So I don't blame people for being lost. So hopefully this helps people out. Okay, I'm outside now. I finally got a break. It's been 5 hours. I'm not gonna lie. I only sold 3 things so far, so I'm kind of in the trenches. Yeah, I went to go get food, and all the lines were super long, so I'm probably gonna just head back. I might order something, but yeah, we got like I think 3 more hours until the event ends or something like that. So, hopefully something picks up. But it's been 5 hours, and I only have 3 things sold. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna head back in and see what happens. All right, we're back for day 3. Some thoughts going through my mind right now is that I was trying to get, double the table booth, but yesterday I had an entire like 5-hour wait of no sales. So my goal is again to make double the table booth. So I'm at like a third of the way there. So hopefully I can at least get halfway there, which is just the table booth. I'm almost there, but hopefully I can finish that today. I feel like my display is the best it's ever been. So it could really just be that this either isn't my market or 2, it just today wasn't my market. Either way, it was kind of in the trenches yesterday, and honestly, I was really like down in the dumps. But I did what I could. The stamp rally was kind of like, there's so many going on. I think no one was really doing it. At least I didn't see anyone coming by for like a second stamp or anything. So I think it might be, we changed it up to where it's just, spend $15 and then they get the prize, because we just really want to get rid of we don't know what to do with the extra prizes. We all worked on it, and I don't want to sell that because, it's other people's artwork, and I don't want to sell another person's artwork. So yeah, we're going to try to move. Hopefully we could get through most of the prizes, and then the rest we could probably just give out as freebies for like another time or something. But yeah, we're here for day 3. We got about, I think, an hour left until we go back and start up. So I'm a little tired. I'm on like 4 hours of sleep, so we'll see. We'll see if I can make it through today. But yeah, hopefully I can reach my goal, and we'll see what happens. All Alright, we have 3 more hours to go. Honestly, it picked up a lot, or at least more than I thought it would today. I made, I think, more sales today than I made the other 2 days combined. So, that's pretty nice. I think it's just, last minute deals and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been picking up. I just broke even, so everything now is profit, but I'm also watching my neighbor's booth right now, so I gotta pause every now and then. They did send a rebook, but honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't know if this is my kind of market, at least not right now. And I don't know if I want to justify coming back, but we'll see. Plus, I think they increased the prices a little bit. I don't know for sure, but it looks like they increased it just a little bit. So we'll see if I come back or not. We still got 3 more hours to go, and I'll try to get some more footage if I can about me walking around. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in a few. Alright, it's been a few days and I'm somewhat rejuvenated, so let's talk about Weebcon. Firstly, I'd like to emphasize that this is my biggest event so far and my first 3-day event. Plus, it's been about 4 months since I had any event at all, so I was really just trying to get back into the swing of things. Overall, it was definitely an experience to remember for future events. I usually like to give the bad news first and then start with the good news, but there were some glaring issues with this event personally, so I'm going to start with the pros and go from there. As for the pros, the venue itself was gorgeous. I really wanted to get more footage of the actual scenery and stuff, but again, I was vending and I was basically doing it solo, so I had to watch my booth and I couldn't be gone for too long. However, I was here in 2024 with some friends and I got to experience the whole thing. Maybe in the future I'll just come as an attendee again and I can see more of the hotel and actually interact with the panels and stuff going around, because there's a lot of fun stuff happening. Speaking of which, last time Weebcon was actually at the Gaylord, it was split. So the artist alley was on the 3rd floor and the exhibitors were on the 1st. This was very inconvenient to get to and a little bit, annoying. This time, however, they actually merged them together on the 1st floor, so I think that was a really good idea. In terms of vendors and attendees, the vibes were pretty awesome. I had a great table partner to split the cost with me, so shout out to her. I had a couple of mutuals and friends stop by as well, and I got to see a lot of my vendor friends, so it was really good to talk to all these people again. I was also very impressed with how my table display turned out. I even had a few random people walk by and just compliment my booth, so that was really nice. I feel like this is very much in a good direction with how I want to do with my overall business and art, and I think in the future I'm going to try to, make it even better and just add on to what I already have. With that said, now for the cons. Oof. Let's get the big one out the way, how much I actually ended up making. The first 2 days were pretty brutal to me, not gonna lie. On Friday, throughout the whole day, I ended up only making 7 sales, which wasn't too depressing at first because I realized most people probably aren't buying big things or a lot of things on Friday. Saturday, however, low-key ruined my mental health even more than it already is. I had 3 sales early in the morning, one of which was the very first time selling some keychains. I was feeling great and I figured if the first few hours were like this, then the rest of the day would be like this as well. Until I went 5 straight hours of no sales. And Saturday's usually the biggest day to make money, so that also added a few stings to the fire. And don't get me wrong, I did not start making art just to make money. I was doing art long before this. But it was very hard to keep my morale up watching the people around me making sales throughout the day. Obviously, I'm happy for them and I'm glad they were racking in the money. But, maybe next time some of that love could maybe go to me. Overall, I made 8 sales on Saturday. Coming into Sunday, my goal was just to try and enjoy the last day and just not think about the last 2 days. However, I was genuinely surprised to see that Sunday ended up being my best selling day. I made steady sales throughout the whole day, even with less people walking around, which was also a great time for me to just go walking around, seeing the venue, and talking to my vendor friends. I actually ended up making more sales on Sunday than the other 2 days combined, which really did help me feel a little better. So, after everything was said and done, I combined everything together and I made a grand total of $334. Yeah, like I said, this event was an experience for sure. For this event, the cost of the table was $450 split $230 after taxes. Parking was $17 off-site and $30 at the convention. I was dropped off first day and paid $60 overall for the last 2 days. Food and gas cost me roughly $40, give or take. So after doing some quick math, I ended up making $4 in profit. I will circle back to this at the end of the video, but I would like to talk about the other glaring issues with this con. Now, I am a little worried that they might get mad at me for saying some of these things. So, allegedly, this stuff happened. Possibly. Maybe. So, I haven't done a crazy amount of events, and again, this was my first 3-day event. But I think I can probably say this was one of the worst organized events that I've personally been involved in. At least in terms of being a vendor. For starters, before I even began to apply, I wanted to split a table booth, and I had emailed them about, if this was even accepted or not. And for months, I got no answer back, so I just took a gamble. Luckily, they were cool with it, and other people were doing it too, but it was still like, that should have been my first flag that maybe communication with them wasn't going to be prominent. And then it kind of just began to pile up when 2 weeks before the event even started, they finally released the vendor maps, which made it very hard for me and other people trying to do a stamp rally because we wanted to put a map on the stamp rally card. Then, after finally releasing the map and having vendors place the orders, like us, for these stamp cards, they ended up changing the layout of the Artist Alley 1 week before the show, meaning we had over 100 stamp cards with an outdated map. But don't worry guys, the stamp rallies barely mattered. I can't speak for other stamp rallies, so good on them if they actually had a better experience than us. But Weebcon did not provide a map for attendees, so most of them didn't even know where any tables were. Speaking of which, let's look at the map they provided us. First off, they made a really wonky layout that made both vendors and attendees confused as hell. As you can see, it kind of has like a flow, and then it just turns into a whole different section. It's like vertical rows and then horizontal rows, making it very awkward to navigate and easy to get turned around if you're not paying attention. Also, look at these numbers. There's a sequence of numbers that looks like normal, and then boom, it jumps over to an entirely different area. So many people were lost on Friday that my table partner and I ended up making maps for our booths, and I ended up sharing the file to other vendors to use. This helped out a little bit more on Saturday, and then on Sunday I noticed more people were actually trying to do the stamp rallies now that they knew where some of the table numbers were. Speaking of which, because so many people were not doing the stamp rally, we ended up changing the entire thing. We just decided that we're going to give out the prize to anyone that spends $15 or more at our booth, so honestly, some of the one-day events I've vended at had a better layout than this one. Also, allegedly, I heard that on Thursday, people were still trying to set up the booths and stuff, even though vendors were in there trying to set up as well. None of the volunteers even knew half of the layout because, again, they changed the whole thing out 1 week beforehand, so they were still learning where all the table numbers were and all that stuff. So I set up on Friday. I didn't have to deal with this, so I don't actually know the full story, but yeah, apparently it was still a little bit of a hassle trying to set up the day before. They even ran out of chairs on Friday, so some vendors had to get lucky and find an extra from somewhere else. Now, for me personally, the worst thing they did actually happened months before the event even started. I bought my booth back in June 2025 for this year's event. About a month or so later, they reopened the applications, but not for 2026, but for 2027. Meaning people could book and buy a table 2 years in advance, making this con that's already hard to get to because of rebooks even harder to get into for new vendors. Now, after Sunday, I had already decided that I probably wasn't going to rebook for next year, but it really didn't matter because after 10 minutes of the rebook emotes going out, all the Artist Alley was sold out. So a lot of people that were too busy, making sales or talking to other people probably missed out on rebooking, and half of that was from people that bought the table in 2025. Which is really crazy that we have to book 2 years in advance now for an event that is not the best organized. But again, all this was allegedly. Please don't get me in trouble. I'm just speaking my mind. Okay, now that my small rant is over, I can give my final opinions. Overall, I think this was a very helpful and somewhat fun event for me to be a part of. It was nice to talk to so many cool people, and I felt like I'm starting to move closer in the right direction of my art business and honestly just my art in general and what I want to do with it. This was a very anime and kawaii-centered convention, which I believe was another reason why I personally didn't do too well here. Unlike other vendors, I was actually in a pretty decent spot to sell my artwork. In fact, my table partner was actually killing it throughout the whole event, so shout out. Now, I don't have a niche, nor do I have any really anime-themed items. In fact, most of my art is actually just fun original artwork, but it doesn't have a centered audience, which is probably why people aren't too enticed to come and buy my stuff. Additionally, I am going to almost be entirely original art in the future events. I plan on making it maybe an 80% original, 20% fan art. So, after experiencing a big con of this size, I'm starting to understand that maybe it's just not the audience for my work. Of course, I'll still try my hand at these anime events like Anime Frontier and stuff like that. I'll still try to apply.
But I think moving forward, I will try my luck at more comic book or just more general conventions and see how I do there, if I can even get accepted to any of them, of course. In fact, I'm actually working and writing my own comic, chipping away at it as much as I can. So comic conventions in general might just be a better idea whenever I start actually drawing the pages and publishing those. Since I plan on going original, I need to focus on how I can make people actually want to buy from me. And one way I decided on doing that was improving my art style and just practicing overall what I want to do. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Maybe I'll return to Weebcon in the future, but who knows. I currently only plan on uploading videos whenever I really feel like it, honestly. I'm busy looking for a job and spending most of my days working on this comic that I mentioned, so I just have nothing ready to post on YouTube. I do have Anime Dallas on April 17th through 19th, so maybe I'll make a vlog on that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.